Yeah.
Down the street.
Well, you know, they say Chantel drives like a speed demon. What's poppin', gang? It's your boy Pastor JB here again, and we're coming at you with another installment of our relationship series. Let's talk a little bit about boundaries. But before we do that, I do want to introduce a new guest we have today, which is one of my faves, one of my god sisters / cousins. Introduce yourself.
Chantel.
That's
Shanny. Tail.
All of that good stuff.
Yeah.
So we're going to dive right into it, and like I said before, let's talk a little bit about boundaries. Before we do that, though, let me actually define boundaries for some people, just don't understand, that don't have them. So, Google's definition of boundaries is a line that marks the limit of an area and or divided time. Applying that to life, personal, relationship, business, or whatever the case may be. We have another definition for relationship boundaries, which are boundaries show where one thing ends and another thing begins. Boundaries in the relationships are kind of like this. They help each person figure out which one person ends at and the other begins. In short, boundaries help you define what you're comfortable with and how you would like to be treated by others. Now we can go for personal boundaries, just to get it out the way. Personal boundaries are limits and rules we set ourselves within a relationship. A person with a healthy boundary can say no, nah, whatever. We're not going to do that. I don't operate like that, and so on and so forth. So just to get that out the way, do you feel boundaries are necessary?
Yes, they
and
are.
why?
They are definitely necessary, needed, recommended, and required.
Honestly, in a healthy relationship and just a healthy lifestyle, honestly. So, in your opinion, what would you say the difference are in personal boundaries and boundaries you should set in a relationship?
Personal boundaries should be set based off how you expect people to treat you personally.
Right.
Relationship boundaries.
They go hand in hand, honestly.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they do go hand in hand, but it will be different boundaries set based off of the relationship and the individual.
And that's whether it be an intimate relationship, business, or friendship, family, whatever the case may be.
Right. But they are all definitely within all those relationships and with those individuals, boundaries are needed.
Definitely.
And need to be set in stone and, discussed, communicated, so everybody be on the same page.
Honestly, because I feel like if you don't have boundaries, you just willy-nilly not there. And that's why people feel like they're allowed to treat you any type of way, or they can do whatever they want or say whatever they want to you without your stop or chill out. Like, we're not going to do that. I operate like this.
Or even when you do want to set that boundary, and there is a no, or not at the moment, or I can't, or, I don't want to get down like that. It's not taken negatively. You know what I mean? It's not taken negatively, or they don't look at you differently.
Yeah, but that's because people have to understand this is my personal boundary. This is how I operate. And just how you want me to treat you a certain way, you have to respect me enough to do that as well.
Right. So, yeah, boundaries are definitely needed.
Yeah, I feel like within a relationship, in order to establish boundaries, you definitely need to be clear to your partner of what you want to do, what your beliefs are, what your values are,
right,
and what your limits are. You definitely have to have limitations. I know a lot of people are not, what's the word? They're not abrasive. You don't have to necessarily be abrasive to set boundaries, but a lot of people don't want to set boundaries because they feel like they don't want to cause any problems, or they don't want to they don't want to be confrontational. Okay, that's because a lot of people don't know how to take, hey, I don't want you doing this to me no more. I don't want you saying this to me no more. So a lot of times, especially in my friend group now, it's like certain things that flew before is not going to fly at the necessary moment, whether it's somebody saying something or somebody doing something. So we have problems now, just a little bit, not too much, where it's like, okay, well, don't call me this because I don't like that. And the other person can be like, well, we never had this problem before. We talk to each other crazy all the time. So why would it be an issue now? And people got to understand that certain people grow, certain people change, and certain people just stop liking shit. Whether they liked it before or whether they secretly didn't like it at all, they dealt with it. But now that it's presented to you, it's like, all right, chill out on that.
Right.
You have to respect the person. If you don't respect the person, you shouldn't be in their life.
Yeah. And definitely when a boundary is expressed or something is being told to you, you know, that's not, they don't like it anymore, or stop it, or, you know, that's not what they're going to be accepting. It shouldn't be, again, like I said, taken as a negative, or you look at that person differently, or they acting funny, or oh, you changed. No. I'm allowed to have a boundary, a limit.
Absolutely.
And if I don't like the way you're talking to me, looking at me, or speaking to me a specific way,
you're not gonna
then I'm not going to accept it, and I don't have to conversate, or be around, you know what I mean, you at all. Yeah, I don't think a boundary being set should even be questioned.
It shouldn't, because at the end of the day, I said what the fuck I said.
Exactly.
And that's what it's about to be.
Exactly. It definitely shouldn't even be questioned, because it's a personal boundary. Like that's how I feel as though I need to be treated.
Yeah, and I'll say it all boils down to treat people how you necessarily want to be treated, and then add tax, because you might want to be treated this way, but I don't want to be treated this way. But we're all, at the end of the day, going to have to treat each other with respect. So respect me enough to know my qualms and my no's and my yeses, and I'll do the same. And if you can't do that, you can't be around me. But as I was doing my research on boundaries and, you know, just doing this specific episode, I came across this article. It was on Google. I forgot who it was by, but it was like it's 5 types of boundaries. This is not necessarily spoken on with everybody else, because not everybody has the wherewithal and or knowledge of each 5 boundaries. But the boundaries are, when it comes to relationships at least, it's a physical boundary, an emotional boundary, a sexual boundary, an intellectual boundary, and a financial boundary. And I feel like those all 5 of those need to be set when you're in a relationship, especially if you're geared towards marriage and want to be with this person for the rest of your life, in order to have a successful and not necessarily compromising, but you always have to compromise in a relationship. But in order for you to have a successful, not no strings, that's what I'm looking for. A successful,
what, that personal
great marriage
relationship, or
just relationships in general.
Okay.
So how do you feel about that?
I don't think all 5 are in a person,
not personal, in a relationship, like an intimate relationship.
Okay, gotcha. Like partner wise.
Right.
Okay. So, oh yeah, definitely. All 5 of those need to be set in stone. Limits require, what I expect from you. Also, what would you expect from me? And to be honest, I'm only speaking in terms of, because, and I wouldn't say I would say it needs to be set in stone upon, you going into a serious relationship.
Right, that's going to be my next question.
Serious relationship.
How do you feel like, what's the time frame of you wanting to, or when do you think that should be discussed in a relationship? All of those boundaries.
Whew.
Or do you think it should be taken like one by one, step by step?
It should be step by step, but at the same time, as far as that intellectual one, should definitely be, discussed and established upon, even the talking stages. Like, you got to stimulate me. Like, I need to understand, I need to see where you are, what we're going to discuss.
Right.
And how far you can take it if you can handle it.
Right.
Then when you in that relationship, I think the sexual part definitely needs to be discussed.
Yeah.
Where we gonna go?
Everybody needs
like
another
this
limitations.
One, you need to bring that one in. No, we know we're not. We're
Right.
not bringing nothing in. You
Right.
like a toy? No, okay.
Yeah, it's definitely limitations.
You want kids? So.
Right.
It's definitely tiers to it.
Right.
Levels, as they call it, to where you need to build up and actually articulate and let them know what your boundaries are.
Right.
Definitely, if your relationship is advancing, then you get to the,
I add a
financial,
6th
all
one
that.
on. I would go as far as to say you need to have a spiritual boundary as well.
Oh, definitely.
Because a lot of people like to try you, and a lot of people like to play with your spirit, and a lot of people, a lot of times, don't even know that it's a spiritual connection between 2 in order to make 1. You know what I mean?
Well, to be honest, even before, as they call it, that's soul ties. Even even if you don't even discuss the spiritual part or spirituality,
Right.
or your beliefs XYZ, when y'all already have did the sexual part,
Canoodle.
you already, you done already took it in. You
Right.
done already,
Right.
And then you're like, oh, you want to go to church? You,
Like-
you believe in who?
Exactly.
So yeah, those are definitely conversations that need to be had before things really get on a road of seriousness and marriage and all that. And
Right.
I'm guilty of not having them.
Well, we learn, we go, right? I mean, you got trial and error. Trial and
Definitely
error.
guilty of not
Definitely.
having them.
But I mean, that's why it's important for people to know about these things, and this is actually one of the reasons why I wanted to do this series, is for so you know better, you do better. You know more, you can go into more, you can try to strive for a successful relationship, whether it be personal, business, family,
Right.
intimate, or whatever the case may be. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, and I mean, you know. But
You picked the right one, Nat.
right. So, what do you think, or should I say, what boundaries do you think need to be set in order to have a successful relationship? Whether it's intimate and or in business and or personal or family. Like, let's just say a common ground boundary that needs to be set.
Okay, I don't want to speak from experience.
You can speak from experience, it's something you know.
Yeah, because I am one that honestly didn't set boundaries until recently.
Right.
I was always
How did that work out for you?
always readily available to assist, help for everyone else.
Right.
I mean, it works out because you need to set the boundaries. So
Yeah, 'cause
you
I
won't
mean,
be walked all over.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, if
And
people
taken
don't know how to
advantage
treat you,
of.
right? it's
Exactly.
Any other way.
Right. So, yeah, I have just recently set those boundaries.
Why do you think it took you so long to set the boundaries? You want
Am I Captain Save a Help? Sorry. Not Captain Save a Help, but seriously, I am I like
try to be Captain
so
Save
try to be, but not only that, I want everyone to win. I
Right.
want everybody to be successful, do good.
You have an itch for helping people.
Definitely. So anybody call me, and as I always say, anybody call Stink, they know Stink will be there. Like, whatever anyone needs, I was readily always available.
Right.
And all too much available to others when I wasn't available for myself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's
So
too easily accessible.
yeah, those are
Right.
words. Yes, exactly.
Right. Especially when you know it's not coming back.
Gonna
around.
be right.
Not gonna be reciprocated. Motherfuckers use you, and then you dried up, and it's like, hey, where's the water?
Yeah,
Like,
is somebody
no.
gonna pour in my cup?
No, it's like nah.
Oh, it's going?
No, it's like nah. You good? We still got problems though.
All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely had to do that check. But I mean, it's going for me very well. I mean, it's hard not having my phone ring. Hello, is this phone on?
I mean, you gotta be
but
something to adjust to.
I mean, it was definitely needed, and you do some X by people's names, like hey.
Well, I tell people all the time, exclusivity is the key. Because if you don't have exclusivity, where's your time for yourself? And where's your
I didn't have
self-care?
that.
Where's your
Yep.
mental health care? It's like, you definitely want to keep bits and pieces and even a whole damn block of yourself away from people, because not everybody knows how to take it. And they just take it however they want to take it because they don't know how to take it. You know what I mean? And that's the problem.
So yeah, I mean, I got the I just figured you were I don't know what I do, what I say, or what's wrong with you. It's nothing. I just know that I was so exhausted
Right.
trying to fix.
Relationships, whomever. My number one goal is respect. You're gonna respect me. You ain't gotta like me. You ain't got food. You ain't got to do that shit. But you're gonna respect me. If you don't respect me, it's either you're gonna get smacked up or you're gonna go over there. And we're not with violence anymore. So you're just gonna go over there. You know what I mean? I feel like if you can't respect me, I can't respect you. And respect is definitely earned. So I try to carry myself in a way that's respectable. You know what I mean? So I can lead by example and not just like, I'm gonna do what I want to do. You're gonna do, or you're gonna do as I say. You're gonna respect me just because. I'm not like that.
No, yeah.
You definitely have to show your work if we want to take it back to school. You got to show your work in order for me to even know what you're doing, for me to want to respect. And I mean, not everybody knows how to do that, but
Yeah, respect is a big thing. It goes both ways, though.
Definitely. A lot of people, and okay, so this is what my generation is having a problem with too nowadays. A lot of people, we all know, respect your elders and everything else like that. But the problem be, 7 times out of 10, them elders don't respect us. And it's not that. It's like I said, respect is it's earned. It's not necessarily given. And we do know offhand, respect your elders. But it's like, you're not going to disrespect me and think I'm just going to turn around and respect you too. You know what I mean? So it definitely goes both ways. You have to show and give in order to get.
Right.
You got to earn it. You can't just be out here doing what you want to do. But speaking of that, what are some personal boundaries that you have and or lack?
Everything. And I mean, it could be small to, can I get a ride? Anything like that. But it was still, I was still that person everyone would call on and knew I would be there. And
right. Well, I mean, I feel like if you establish boundaries late, people have to definitely understand it's not you, it's me. Because it's my fault that I allowed you to do whatever the fuck you wanted to do when it comes to me. So it's not your fault, and I'm going to accept and respect that you didn't know.
Right.
But now you know, and if you don't want to comply, you can, go to the left. Everything you own in the box to the left. Like, honestly, but for me, as far as the boundaries, I think I need to, or not necessarily I think I need to set in order. My expectation and what I try to set in order as much as I can, it's usually the ground rule for anything, whether it's business, personal, with yourself, or something that you're trying to implement a little bit more nowadays than you did before.
My me time, my mental, it's really me. And even boundaries with my children. Like, because I can really exhaust myself. Dealing with work and business, other family things, and then dealing with kids.
That's
true.
A lot.
I can really exhaust myself, and I have nothing. Like, I will literally be drained. So I definitely am trying to implement.
Before you say that, how do you find the time to? Because you have a lot going on, with your full-time job, your 4 kids. Adult and little kids, and your side businesses. Shout out to our soap business. Go ahead and drop it.
Yeah! My ACJ Essentials.
ACJ Essentials. Check that out. Tax business. Credit. Hit her up on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you can find it. But how do you find the time to recuperate and try to do the mental health checks and self-care awareness and everything else like that for yourself with all that going on? And then we get to the other question.
You know what? I'm trying to get back into getting up earlier before the day starts. Before the day starts, so I can have my time to myself, whether it needs to be reading, listening to some affirmations, the prayer, the meditation, XYZ. Or just preparing, like, for virtual schooling, preparing school and assignments and all that for my son prior to him getting up.
Right.
Breakfast prior to them, getting up. So it's basically trying to have structure and schedule and stick to it.
Right.
And then again, like, just trying to have at least I'll probably give myself a good 15 minutes by myself where I'm like listening to Tasha Cobb or whatever, just to get me in that mood, because once I turn on that computer, Lord knows what type of emails I'm going Lord knows what type of emails I'm going to get, what type of day my son is going to have doing virtual schooling. It's definitely that boundary there, trying to have that self-love and mental care.
It's important because you don't want to end up mind splitting and because and it has to be, because like I said earlier to you, off audio, how we were speaking of, you have to have that time because you're already consolidated into one place, and it's like, I'm not getting out the house. I got to do this, that from the house, especially because of the Rona. It has to be mind-boggling sometimes, especially if you don't have that time to yourself to decompress without anybody screaming, "Mommy, mommy," or whatever the case may be. that has to be hard. So I mean, ups to you though, because I mean, a lot of it's hard. Y'all got this. You're a black woman, a black strong woman. Okay. But back to the question, what personal boundaries do you feel like you have that are stronger now, and which ones do you feel like you lack that you want to get better on? That's some time to think.
Yes. I still struggle with the friendship, platonic. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I struggle in that area because again, I still sometimes find myself falling back into
old ways and bad habits.
It's like, oh, let me pump the brakes on that. Let me get back to what I was doing, so I won't, be consumed with whatever energy whatever energy that is, because I feel it a little bit and it's not what I want.
You know, so that's the devil. You're always trying to pull you back to what you used to be.
It's like, oh,
back
no,
the fuck up. Wait a minute.
I just need to stick to my guns.
Mm-hmm.
And being's always just so new to me because, like I said, I've always been accessible to people.
Right.
And just be in that state. Hey, stink, call stink. So it's like...
Well, I mean, it's definitely a mental thing that you have, because you kind of have to reprogram your mind to be like, okay, we don't do that no more. That doesn't fulfill us. We don't like where that takes us. So it's like, let me try to... It's kind of hard, but, they say it takes, 2 weeks to... It's a week or something to break a habit and 2 weeks to start a habit or something like that.
21 days.
21 days. Something like that.
21 days.
Right. So, I mean, okay. For me,
I
don't know. Personal boundaries, like I said before, for me, it was respect all around. Personal space. I definitely need my personal space because I become a hermit crab if I don't get it. Like, that's why it's hard for me to come on. Well, it's not hard for me to go on vacation because I'm a people's person, but I low-key hate people. Everybody know that.
Oh, you sound like my kids.
Yeah, people are irritating, but it's like I'm social. Like, I can go out and be out forever. But I definitely need those blocks of personal space and me time in order for me to regenerate and build my social battery back up.
Well, that does make sense. I wonder if I'm like that too.
Probably. Because you got to think, it's all of the stress that you're being pulled in every which way, business, family.
I never thought of it that way because I'm like, I have no life. I'm like, where do I go? But then when I am out, I'm like, I'm ready.
Yeah, like I'm ready to turn up. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm ready to turn up. But then once I get there, I'm all right. But then it's like, all right,
it's time to go.
All right,
it's time
I'm tired
to
of seeing
go.
the same
Honestly,
faces. It's time to go.
Literally, it's that limit. It's that limit. Also, for me, in class, I feel like people need to have it. And I'm not saying, you being ghetto or anything else. I don't mind that because we all get ghetto. The fuck? Mm-hmm. But it's certain places for certain things. You know what I mean? And you have to read your room and know your surroundings and act accordingly where you at. Of course, yes, be yourself, but be another part of yourself that's appropriate for the situation.
I don't have that problem. I don't have that problem. I ain't get it. I ain't got a sight.
But yeah, definitely respect is number one. I feel like personally you have to respect yourself, because if you don't respect yourself, how are you going to expect somebody to respect you? Mm-hmm. And that's a lot of times when people always, nobody respects me, this and that. It's like, well, it starts with you and what you allow.
Right.
If you don't allow certain shit won't happen. I mean, and if it tries to happen, you check it at the door. And if you don't check it at the door, it's going to be inside your room.
Right.
So.
Guilty.
But to kind of nod off of personal boundaries, well, before we nod off, why do you feel, we probably already said this, but just to reiterate, why do you feel that a personal boundary is needed? And why do you feel like it's important?
It's important to have personal boundaries because, as we just stated, you want someone to treat you a specific way. It needs to be, articulated and shown and told and actually set in stone of how you want to be treated.
Right. In
the event that you are not advising them how you want to be treated, or setting those boundaries and limits, and there's a mishap, then it won't be any type of friction when you then put that boundary into place. So,
because it's like you already knew what the fuck was up.
It's definitely
if you want to follow, it's on you.
Boils down to the communication and respect. You treat people how you want to be treated.
Absolutely.
So
I definitely agree with that.
So,
Now, with boundaries, I feel like boundaries also play a part in needs and wants, personally. Because I feel like once you establish your boundaries and once you, know what you like, know how you want to be treated, know what you don't like, and know how you don't want to be treated, you get a sense of who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And once you find out who you are, you will find out, most of the time, not all the time, but you'll find out what you need and what you want. Although we know needs definitely should be prioritized more so over wants.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we all need a little bit of wants in our life so we can, enjoy it a little bit. So, what are some needs and wants you feel that are ideal for a relationship? Whether it be your own personal relationship, whether it's from experience, or just in relationships, your idea of a perfect relationship. Well, nobody's ever perfect,
Ooh,
but a good relationship.
perfect.
What are some needs and wants? Yeah.
Say what a perfect relationship is.
Yeah. What do you feel like some needs or wants that you should get, or that you would want personally out of one?
I definitely want respect, compassion, understanding, some empathy.
What about grace?
Grace, honesty,
Little dabble.
honesty, honesty.
Absolutely. Honesty is the best policy.
And just
people don't understand.
real, like, you know what I mean? I just need a real individual, like, be real. Like, what's the facade? What's the fakeness? What's the, you act like this around this individual, then you act like that around that individual, but that was said this one you don't want to be around. Like, I just need an all around genuine, real, respectable individual.
Yeah, I mean, because if you're gonna be with a person long enough, you're going to experience
more, not only just a personal, but I mean the intimate relationship, but also family,
yes,
friend. Like, I just want you to be real with me. Don't put up no facade. Don't act this way in front of me because that one's around. Don't act this way when that one's around. Like, just be true to who you, and consistent and true to who you really want to be.
Yeah,
if you don't know who you are or what you want to do or who you want to be around,
you gotta figure that out. That's
away from me. Figure it out away from me.
But that's a person, if you think about it, just think about everything you just said, that's a person that doesn't have personal boundaries. Because they're every which way in front of everybody else. But then, like, who are you truly are? Like, who are you really at night? Who are you when you first wake up in the morning?
When you look at your stuff when you're brushing your teeth.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who are you really? You know what I mean? And a lot of people struggle with self-identity because a lot of people try to cap for the nets, and a lot of people try to look a certain way and try to keep up a certain image for other people that they please. And that's people that live for other people and not necessarily live for themselves. You definitely have to live for yourself, because if you don't live for yourself, why are you here?
Well, yeah, I definitely get that. Yeah, I just don't understand the different person you get in different scenarios and atmospheres, or, you know what I mean, the surroundings. You'll get a different person sometimes.
Yeah. It's very much so given split personality. Yeah,
hello. Did you just get out? Did you?
What's going on here?
Check out?
There's a lot of mental things too sometimes. A lot of people I do know, Jay just can't help it. And, I want to say the Western or the medical Western way is the way to go to get some medication and try to figure shit out. But I mean, if you can't necessarily figure it out by yourself, at least seek a professional and try to help. Why am I like this? But then again, some people just might want to be like that, because some people like to, go along to get along, and some people just like to fit in, with everything. And unfortunately, that's an unrealistic standard of life to live, because it's like you're not really being yourself. You know what I mean? You're just being extra.
Along to get along.
Go along to get along.
Go along to get along.
Mm-hmm. There's people, that don't want to speak up for certain things that they know is right, but they just like, okay, let me just go with the GP because that's what they're saying. Or let me just be over here so I can be in with this clique because they're cool, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? People just go along to get along. That's the sad part. But that brings me to my next point. Looking at yourself now, being a full-grown woman with churns and businesses and, all of that good stuff, and looking at yourself 10, 15 years ago, right? How do you feel that your needs and wants have changed as you've grown up as an adult?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
They have definitely changed. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Gotta think.
15 years ago.
That was when you had what? 1, maybe 2 kids. It was like
I
2,
had
right?
to. Nope, I had to.
I remember those kids when they just was babies.
To be, oh my gosh. So yeah. So
I remember
wow.
the
So
part-
you're taking it back. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, you want that, Chantel. Okay. Yeah. So
Just a little bit, a sprinkle.
yeah, just a little bit. Wow. Back then, I honestly don't know what I wanted back then.
You was living.
Yeah. And wherever, and to be honest, see, look.
Go ahead, let it
You
loose.
don't
Be
want
honest.
me. You don't
Open and
want me.
honest. Open and
So,
honest.
but
Whatever you're
listen.
comfortable with letting out.
So listen, back then, I would honestly say, as a woman I am today, I can say that female back then, I don't even want to say she was a grown woman. She had kids. She was of age. She was of age. She was responsible with taking care of, the household, kids, and herself. When it came to if she knew who she was, no.
Right.
Definitely didn't know who I was. Definitely was in a relationship just to be in a relationship.
Do you feel like you had to be in a relationship because you wanted to be complete?
No.
Or
Yep. Definitely had to be in a relationship to be complete. Accepting any and everything. Had no boundaries.
Right.
No limits.
So in other words, you didn't know yourself.
No,
You just was like, okay. Well, I mean, it's common though at the age that was at. You know what I mean?
15 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just in it. Would you say? I'm not even gonna say not faking it to make it or whatever you want to call it.
Get along.
Yeah, but it was just like with that relationship that I was in, I was just going along with it. Just okay, well he here.
Yeah, this is
All right,
something
well,
that
he's doing
completes
whatever.
me.
Right, he's doing whatever. I'm just who's gonna want somebody with 2 kids?
Right.
Who? What?
So you're definitely in that stage of damn. It's like I'm damaged goods. In other words, but it's
And
like,
honestly,
you're
oh my
not
God,
that.
I've never said those words, those terms, but as you say it, like that's how I felt back then. Like
Right.
I'm out here.
Did you have anybody in your life to talk to about that at that moment? Like, were you able to freely express yourself and get out your thoughts and your mental state of where you were?
No.
Okay. How long do you think that lasted? For a while, because I mean, obviously you've grown and you became the woman that you are today.
My kid, well, yeah, back then my kids were, what you say, 15? 15
About 4.
2, 3. 2, 3.
Yeah.
2 and 3. To be honest, yeah, I just honestly had to come to terms of, okay, well, I'll just have to do this on my own.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, all right, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. But again, even just releasing myself from that, I still didn't go to find out who I was.
Right. Because you probably felt like you this is what I have now, so I have to deal with this and make sure this is good and make sure my kids are doing what they're supposed to do, so I necessarily don't have time for myself. And then you had 2 kids like back to back, so it's like you didn't really get to learn, okay, my life isn't just my kids. I'm actually a woman. I have to, do things for myself as well, and I gotta know me. So I mean, that's a lot of things.
That know me was not even actually a factor, or even me having limits, surrounding myself.
Right.
At that moment, like it was the main goal in my head and my main, focus was just taking care of my kids.
Right.
That's all I want to do. Somebody come along, okay, well, whatever.
Go ahead.
That baggage still just sitting there.
So do you feel like you, at a point in time, had to keep up with appearances just to feel and look complete? In order to, because you wanted to be with somebody so you can feel complete.
Appearances?
Yeah.
No. To be honest, I've just never verbally expressed myself. I'm sure people surrounding me were aware of certain things, but I never hid it, or you know what I mean? Like right. I'm sure I've never verbally expressed it. Right, it wasn't a secret, and I never really verbally, confiding in anyone until the end. You know what I mean? Until the end.
Right.
And it was that lifeline was cut off.
Yeah, so that brings me to my next question. How long do you think it took, or how long did it take in order for you to get from there to where you are now? Like the kind of person that you are. Long time? Long time, huh?
No, seriously, because I am, say probably about 5 years ago. It's like, what's the word? Dissecting yourself. You know what I mean? You do your own dissecting of it, analyzing your own things. Or I'll say, how old was my son? Yeah, 6 years ago. Like, you know what I mean? You discover certain things that you allow, and it was like, what?
Yeah, why would I ever?
What?
Sometimes it's like you wake up a little bit.
Exactly.
Or your grown eye
Yeah.
comes into play where it's like, okay, I am not finna be doing this for the rest of my life.
Right.
Right. I mean, I
I'd say
feel
about
that.
6 years ago, 6.5.
Now, was it a certain push that got you over the edge, or was it just a buildup of multiple different things and lifestyle changes and life events that happened to where...
Life events.
Right.
A lot of life events.
We live a long life, late night street walking.
So, bro, I'll be here all night. It's been a lot of life events.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I get it.
But yeah, definitely. Everybody need to do that reflecting, dissecting.
Yeah,
Dumping,
it's definitely
Xing,
necessary to do self-reflection, because if you don't look at yourself in the mirror, how you gonna know who you really are?
Yeah.
It was a line in Black is King. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. It was like, what did she say? She said to live without reflection, you forget who you are, or something like that.
You're not even living. Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely something you should definitely want to do. Self-reflection is everything for me. And just because I overanalyze everything anyway, and I overthink, and I always, after any situation that I'm in, argument or whatever, I always go back and analyze. Is there something that I said that you didn't understand? Or is this something that I could have said or did differently to have a different outcome? And once you just start doing that...
That is growth, though. That is very much maturity. Because some people be like, well, I said what I said. Okay. I mean, you took it the way, like, you know what I mean? Not really understanding how someone may have perceived what you said.
But that goes into compromising and accountability.
Right, definitely.
A lot of people don't want to take accountability, and that's the issue. No. And, when you got one person trying to take accountability, sometimes a person can feel, not necessarily feeling weak or being a punk. It's just like you get tired of trying to be the only person that's being the bigger person.
Exactly.
It's like, all right, now I'm about to step on you. Because who the fuck do you think that I am?
But not only that, I wouldn't even continue to try and make them take accountability. It's like, all right, I see where you at.
Right.
We're going to leave it right there. I know what I could have done differently, what I said, or how you may have perceived something. But I'm not going to go back and forth and stress myself for you to admit that you did something wrong, or where you could have did something differently, or taking accountability.
Yeah, because honestly,
that's you.
After a
You're
while,
the one that gotta look in the mirror. Honestly,
and sometimes you just gotta leave people where they're at when they're not willing to do so. And that's why I dropped so many people in my life. But we're not gonna talk about me. Just a little bit to run it out. Let's just talk a little bit about communication. And what difference it makes in life. Personally, and whether it's relationships, family, anywhere, any human interaction or converse or whatever, or conversation or whatever the case may be, communication is key. I feel like that's a huge part of boundaries, because you can have boundaries in your head, but if you don't communicate your boundaries or articulate your boundaries, what do you expect somebody to do? Nobody's a magician. Well, I mean, other than Houdini, nobody's a magician, and nobody's about to be reading your mind saying, hey, I wonder what you're thinking in there. I wonder how you want to be treated. Now, sometimes it is a certain level of coof, and it is a certain level of respect and compromising that you have to be just as a person to handle people. But not everybody has that instinct inside of them to be like, okay, let me not be a fucked up ass person and just think it's my way, my way, my way. I don't care about nobody else. So I feel like communication is definitely key in setting boundaries. How do you feel about that?
Definitely. Communication is key, as they say. Key.
Shout out to the tax agency.
Yes. But yeah, as they say, credit is key. Yeah, definitely communication is needed in all aspects of relationships in your life. I've had issues in that area.
Do you feel like you had issues because you didn't necessarily want to speak up, or is it just it wasn't being articulated in a manner that
definitely it wasn't being articulated, and then if it was articulated, it was perceived differently. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then sometimes the way I may have presented it was not the right. You know what I mean? Not the right timing or how they perceived it or whatnot. But I definitely struggled in that area, especially at also speaking up, because I always just let it roll off my shoulder.
Yeah, like it is what it is.
Yeah,
I took the high road.
But now it's like no, and then sometimes my tongue can just be too sharp, so I just have to shake my head and walk away. But
I mean, some people got to be cut sometimes when they know for them to realize that they're playing with a knife.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, definitely communication is key. So you won't have no holes, no wonders, mind wondering, guessing,
Yeah, communication needs to be black and white. It doesn't need to be gray, and it doesn't need to be in between. It definitely needs to be black and white so everybody can understand what's going on and how to go about certain things. Because, I mean, not everybody knows. And, I mean, if you don't communicate effectively and the other person's not willing to actually listen and comprehend, you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to say, hold up, communication. Actually, it should be comprehension.
Yeah. Right.
Because I can be talking all day.
Yeah, I mean, it's not everybody,
you understand me?
Listen, not everybody have the sense that God gave a Billy Goat. That's all I'm saying. Like, it's just... But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day people don't understand.
Yeah, comprehension.
I mean, some people don't have that intellectual intelligence to even go there or even have the wherewithal to understand how you feel or what you're saying or the severity of the situation or issue that's going on.
No, they'll take one word out of it and be like, you said no. What I said was...
Literally. I have a whole novel.
You alright? Comprehension.
Yeah. But I mean, definitely that. And this is a good stream. Well, not a stream. This is a good episode. So we'll close it out a little bit. Y'all do know I'm Pastor JB nowadays. Y'all know where to hit me and the podcast. And you want to drop your IG handle, Twitter, Facebook. Business is with an S. Soap business, tax business, credit business.
So the essentials. Everyone needs essentials.
Yes, for all y'all musty people out there.
Yes.
Especially going to church on Sunday, knowing y'all was just clapping cheeks at the club Saturday night.
Yes.
Y'all need them in the morning.
You need some soap.
Yes.
And some body butters.
So what's your
IG
I
got the ACJ Essentials 1. That's on IG. For the financial, which will be, the taxes, the credit,
all things finances,
all that, is KAD.
That's what the fuck that is?
Yes.
I keep seeing them pop up on my socials, and I'm like, who is this that keeps contacting me? Okay, so I can respond, because I'm like, I don't know who this is. Why are you talking to me?
When I be sending you stuff?
Yeah, I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
Because it goes to my general messages, because the podcast page is a business page, so it has, split.
Yes. So, yeah, those are my two business
pages. So,
CJ.
ACJ1 on IG.
Yes.
And then it's KA Dynasty.
And then K.KA Dynasty, or you can call it
on IG as well. Do you have a Twitter?
Oh, I don't have Twitter. I do not even know how to use Twitter. Wait a minute.
It's just like Facebook. Just
is it?
Tweet. Yeah, it's just tweet. Yeah. I have Twitter. I have Twitter forever.
So wait, do you got to do the quoting, or you can put a picture?
You can do both.
Oh yeah, I may have to do that.
Yeah. Twitter is more accessible for when you want to get shit. I feel like you can get stuff out there way faster on Twitter than Facebook, especially with hashtags, because everybody uses hashtags.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I need to do that then.
And then you use journal. This is TTOT podcast, and today's a wrap.
This was.
Hold up. But wait, before you go, be sure to like, drop a comment, follow, smash that subscribe button, and follow us on all platforms at That's That on That Podcast, #TTOT.